Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I'd like to show you how I made this narrow berry basket. I've got some little Easter eggs in there. I say this is narrow because this is the normal size berry basket. You may have seen my video just before Christmas where I showed how to make this one with our corrugated paper, and that's just normal straight square size that the die was meant to make, but this one I have made more narrow. Okay, this one measures 3 inches across the bottom here, and this one is just a fraction over 2 inches. So I'm going to show you how I did it. To start with, I'll tell you the sizes of the cardstock you're going to need. I've used Real Red, and this measures 5 5/8 inches by 8 inches, which is 15 centimetres by 21 centimetres. This piece is 4 1/4 inches by 8 inches, which is 11 centimetres by 21. And then you will need scraps of Tangelo Twist, Wild Wasabi and Whisper White. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the die. Let me show you that first. I don't know quite how much you're going to see this because it is black. Oh, there we go. You can see that quite well. So you need to cut this twice for the normal berry basket, and you have 2 of these, and then you have that straight strip and that scalloped strip as well. What we're going to do, instead of the full size, we are just going to put our paper up towards that second hole. Must be a better word for hole on that one. Anyway, let me show you how we're going to do this. Right, so we need the die and 2 cutting mats. So that one there, that one there. Oh, it's quite good. You can see quite a lot here, can't you? Right, so for the first one, you just lay that on top and put it through the big shot. Okay, so that's the first one. So you finish up with this piece here. I don't want those little bits. Okay, so you've got one of those. Turn it sideways, it looks better. Then you get one of these straight pieces, and then you get a scalloped piece. Okay, now I tear these top 2 pieces off and I keep those. That would make a nice little edging on a card, and that is a totally straight strip, so that will come in useful. Okay, let's get rid of those little bits. Now the second one we're going to put through is our narrow piece, and what we're going to do, we're going to place it on here. Make sure that we're covering that cut line and that cut line, and I am lining this here up with these 2 slits. Okay, I'm going to call these bits here slits. Okay, if I can pick this up. Alright, these are going to be slits. Better than holes. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one exposed, that one exposed. Let me see if I can get that up close to you so that you can see. I've just moved that, haven't I? Right, let's hold that in place. There we go. I've had the lighting in here improved somewhat. There we go. You see how I've left, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch gap there? But as long as the gap you leave is the same on that side as it is that side, you're good to go. So let's bring my other plate back. Make sure I don't move that. When I first saw a video showing how to make this, it said that they recommended that you used painter's tape, which I think is an American thing. We tend to have masking tape over here in the UK, so I use masking tape, put it over there so that I've got a nice straight line. But it caused me problems when I tried taking it off. Mine was obviously too strong. Whether our masking tape is a lot stronger than painter's tape, I don't know. But I don't recommend you trying that. I recommend that you just eyeball it and line it up. Right, so now what you finish up with now is the scalloped piece, the straight piece, the two bits that I save. You may want to just bin it, and this one here with just the two slits. Okay, and I'll show you that in comparison to that one. Okay, so let's move the big shot out of the way because that's all we need that for. And I'm going to bring over my silicone mat because I'm going to do pasting. Now on here you will see there are score lines on here. Ever since I used my masking tape on my die, my folds haven't been anywhere near so good, but I can still see them. But I do have to just give mine a little bit of encouragement. There we go. And when I fold it over, I always make sure that I've got the same gap that side as I have that side. You see that? Yeah. Okay, so there's that, that and that. Then I can do the same to this side as well. And then I'm going to fold this one as well. That's it. Now obviously on this one I've got one straight side, that one. In fact, if I show you against the lines here, that side's straight, but that side is obviously the shaped side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep these up straight where we had the gap here in the normal size basket. Let's see, yeah, you can see that. Okay, you get the gap in the proper size. On this one, I more or less close the gap up because that way it disguises that one side is straight and the other side isn't. Now to put these two together, one of these we're going to have to cut. It's the large piece, and I cut approximately 2/3 of the way along. And then I'm going to put some Tombow on here so that I can adhere that one. Crikey, I've nearly cut that perfect. Look at that. Not that we're going to rely on that bit. So Tombow. I'm going to put it on, yes, on the large piece. And when you're putting the Tombow on it, don't come too close to the edge here because it will come through the gaps. Okay, so that's all right. Now pop that one on top and make sure that where you're getting your lines, your folds, it's going to line up with this one as well. Okay. To give yourself an idea whether you're in the right position or not, the gap between that you can see through there should be approximately the same as this side. That one's slightly larger, but not large enough to worry about it. We're not going to get perfection because, as I say, one side's straight and the other side isn't. Now this piece, I'm going to pop it on the base like that. So I'm going to put Tombow on this one. Again, not going too close to the edge where the slits are. And then I'm just going to pop that onto there. Make sure that that folds in okay. So that's alright. Make sure that's going to be closing up okay as well. Alright, so that's going to be like that. Now we need to put this scalloped piece around. Now when you're doing the full size, you would just fold this on the little score line there. We're not going to do that on this. What I am going to do is I'm going to start this so that I have a little edge here. Okay, so that when my last piece comes here, I can bring it round the corner and I've got something to adhere onto here. Okay, so I'm going to be doing it halfway through that, putting my glue on halfway through that scallop there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway through number 6. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, halfway there. It's getting a bit gunky. I think that must have been coming off of what's in the lid. Right, let's try again. Third time lucky. That's better. Okay. Right, now what I'm going to do is, where my last one, number 6. So number 6 is coming sort of almost halfway towards the edge. I'm making sure that this is lining up, and I'm going to look from this side to make sure it's lining up as well. So that's good. Now I want to go around the corner here, so I'm just going to fold on there. Okay, I'm not scoring or anything, just going to the edge. Now when I bring this piece along, I'm just going to sit that close. I'm not pushing it right into the edge. I'm just going to let it sit close, and then as it works its way along, I'm going to fold it again like that. Okay, so that tells me how far I need to put my glue. I'm going to do that. Let's move that out of the way a minute. There we go, that's that. Bring that up, and now I've got this one ready to come around the corner. And again, I'm pushing my fingers to make sure that this one here is coming up to the edge on the back sheet. So whichever way I look, from the front I shouldn't be able to see the back one, and if I look from the back I shouldn't be able to see the front one. I can, so let's push that down a little bit. That's it. A little bit more. You can come up a bit. There we go. Okay, so that one's going round. Now I'm going to bring this one up and push it close, but I'm not trying to get this right up. I just want it to be close. It's got a little gap there. That's fine. See that? Yep, you can see through. Okay, so now again, I'm going to fold that round the corner. Make sure it's straight first. It does give a little bit of a fight, but I believe that is because the one straight side and one slanted side. But you can win. Trust me. Okay, so that one's going to be going around in a moment. So glue this. Now, you might need some pegs to hold this. So line it up again. And that one. Oh, it's going quite easy this time. Just hold it for a few seconds to give Tombow a chance to grip. The glue's come over the top, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. So the next one, I'm going to just glue that a little bit down. Make sure that's in the correct position. Oops. And just hold that. And we'll have a peg. There we go, that'll hold that one. Now you take the next sheet, next strip rather, and that's going to be lining up there. So what you need to do is work it along and then fold it where it's going to be coming around the bend. Okay, so hold that one there and then bend it. Okay, because when you come around the corner you're only going to need that very, very little bit there. Sorry, we went a bit blurred there, but you can see the little bit that we're going to need. So we glue this. Trying not to get my hands in the way here to block your view. Right, that one's on top. I'm trying to line, let's take that off. Line this one up. So line it up to the top here. Follow that through. Yes, that's okay. And then we're just going to need to come this last piece. And I don't use a ruler or anything on this bit. Excuse me. What I do is I can see where the edge is. I can see it just above there. Yes, you can see that. Okay. And what I do is I just press my fingernail against that so that it creates a little dent in my cardstock. And then once I've got my dent, then I could just cut that piece off. And that should be enough to bring it around to fix up against there. I'm not fussed that that messes up the scallop there. Let me see if I can show you that. Okay, you can see there it's not quite correct, but it's so minor, I won't worry about that. I think the basket looks so nice that really isn't going to be noticed. So I'm going to stick that piece down and then I'm going to bring my peg in again and pop that on. Now for the handle I'm going to use one of the straight pieces and I'll use my pencil just to give one curl like that, and I'm going to use some Tombow to put one end there and then one end there, both on the outside. And then what I did with this one was I covered the edge up with a little flower. Okay, so that's what I'm intending to do here. I'm going to start the end away from the peg so that by the time I finish doing this side I can take that one off. So I'm just going, I know that the middle is going to be approximately in there, but you can see that the gap on that side is a bit narrower than that. So the centre of this is not going to be the centre of the whole lot, so I know that I've got to come over slightly onto this side. Okay, so let's put some glue, I think probably about there. I'm just going to make sure I've got some on all over here. There we go, that's better. I put too much glue on earlier, which is why it came over the top, and I'm trying to avoid that from happening again. Right, okay, so there's that. That's about 2.5. That's about right. I count the amount of scallops there are on either side there. Okay, so I'm going to put another peg to hold that one. Now I'm going to turn it over, remove that one, and then do the same on this side. Now this one you need to make sure that when you've glued it on, it's in a straight line from this side. Okay, see, I'm looking at this and I can see through. How can I? Can't really explain that, can I? I'm looking at this handle and I can see the handle down there and I can see that that's straight. If I hadn't got this in the right place, that handle there would be like off to the side. I think that's the first time that I've been a bit lost on trying to explain something. But hopefully you know me well enough to know what I'm trying to say. Okay, so there's the basket. Handle's a bit wonky, let's move it over a bit, that's better. There you go, okay, nice and easy to make. So all we've got to do now are the decorations. Now what I've done is for my flower I used the Petite Petals stamp set and I've used that one there. Now I have already made all of mine to save us some time, but I will do one just to show you what I did. Okay, so I've used Daffodil Delight Ink. Did I put my stamp away? Yes. I do tend to tidy up after myself once I've done a project before I start again, even if it's like making a project to video, because obviously I make one of these first so that I know that it's all going to work out. Okay, so I've done 3 on both sides of the flowers, got 3 there, 3 there, and 1 on either side, so that's 8. Okay, so I used the little Petite Petals Punch. With this stamp you don't have to get it in any particular direction. All the petals are identical to each other, so there's no lining up to worry about. Now these little circles here, they're Tangelo Twist, Tangelo Twist, and I punched these out using the owl punch, and it's those there. And my branches, these are in Wild Wasabi, and I punched these out using the Bird Builder punch. Right, I don't need this. I haven't put a sentiment on my basket. You may like to do that. Right, so what I did was once I'd done my flower, cut my flower, I used my paper piercer, and you might like to use your piercing mat, but I just put that on my hand and do that to get the flower with some dimension. And then I put a little bit of Tombow in the middle, and I pop my centre in. Just give that a little push down to give it a chance to adhere. Now I leave that one till last because these other ones are dry. Okay, so I've done all of these. Pop that back over there. Right, I'm going to do the handle one first, and that was a new one, wasn't it? Okay, so just put a little bit of Tombow here, and I'm positioning it so that you can't see the edge of the handle. Okay, so it's that one. Take another one. Pop that one there. And then these others. You don't need to do both sides with flowers if you don't want to. And I'm not going to try fluffing these flowers up until after the glue has dried. Okay, so that's those. These were meant to look like daffodils, but then I put some leaves with it, and of course daffodils don't come with leaves. They've got like straight, just stems really, I suppose. Gardeners amongst you will be cringing, saying, no, those are whatever leaves. But I'm not a gardener, sorry. Right, there we go. That's all of those. Now with these, what I'm going to do is, for the top one up here, let's bring this back down, I'm going to cut about that much off, and I'm going to put some Tombow on the back of the leaves. Just a little bit. I don't worry about putting any on the actual stem. And then I'm just going to slide that in down there. Okay. And then this one needs to be a bit shorter. Again, on the back of the leaves. Oh, that's a bit much. Let me just wipe that bit off, otherwise that's going to come oozing all over the place. That's better. And then I'm just going to slide that one in under there. And then the other side, one fairly long one. That's it. And then this one gets a very short stem. On this basket here, these dark bits that are in the centre are, I think we call them candy dots, but I've run out of them. Well, I haven't actually run right out, I just don't have enough to do the flowers on this basket. So what I will probably do is put some crystal effects on it and leave it overnight to dry. But again, it gives you a different view if you like. You can see what one looks like with candy dots and what one looks like without candy dots. There we go. Lovely little project. I don't know which one I prefer. I need to look at it for a little while. But there you go. Lovely little Easter basket. I'll show you one other basket that I made, and this is one that I did for the Make It show that we did recently. I was doing demos on using the berry basket, which is where all this came from. And that was when I was making these, it was Easter, not Easter, Valentine's Day, which is why I was still in the mood for hearts and things. But that's what I did on this one, did flowers all over. Okay, so that's another idea for you. I hope you like them. Hope you give them a try. Many thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions, please contact me. I'm always very happy to help you. If you've enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here, please click on the 24/7 link that you'll find in the details below the screen. That'll take you straight to my online Stampin' Up shop. I have put all the measurements and the catalogue numbers of everything that I've used on the screen, but depending what you're watching this on, you may not be able to see them. So I've put all the details again in the box underneath the screen, so that you don't have to worry about getting over to my website. It's all there for you. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.